You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Warning, this video may induce nausea. Warning, this video may cause you to reach for the bath bucket. Warning, the contents of this video may make you feel very ill. Warning, this video could cause you to blow chunks. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Having warned you about the content of this video, there's no claim against me whatsoever as a consequence of you feeling ill, barfing, chucking up, having a technicoloured yawn with the great white telephone. An article in the Telegraph newspaper by Victoria Ward greets us, Harry and Harry's wife's next move, rom-coms and feel-good entertainment. Aha! If it's feel-good entertainment, that must mean they're going to shut the fuck up. Hallelujah! Break open the dirts. Let's all have a party. Let's all do the conga. Let's all celebrate, no matter where you might be in the world. Whether you're in Buenos Aires, whether you're in Tring, whether you're in Pretoria, whether you're in Anchorage, whether you're in St. Petersburg, whether you find yourself in Tromsø, whether you're in Stockholm, or possibly Paris, whether you find yourself in Pisa, Athens. You might find yourself in Adelaide, or Auckland, or Hong Kong. Wherever you are around this great big turning globe of ours, maybe you want to celebrate, because if it's going to be feel-good entertainment, that must surely mean that the Sussexes are finally going to shut the fuck up. Oh dear. It would appear it's not. Because apparently the Duke and Duchess are moving away from content about themselves, huzzah, and towards fun television for their next Netflix adventures. So they're not going away. Bummer. Their Netflix documentary series was billed as their love story, relationship bulletin, assertion of control and triangulation. And they have rarely missed an opportunity to gush about their romance. See parts passing, why do they feel the need to show off their love? Now, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex plan to harness their own experiences as star-crossed lovers to make rom-coms. This, of course, plays neatly into what I've repeatedly told you, that the manifestation of material that appears in literature, poetry, art, film and television, when it comes to the concept of love and romance, is driven by the narcissistic view of it. The couple, who signed a multi-year deal with Netflix in 2020, are moving away from content about themselves, but it won't last, and have several fun television series in the pipeline, the Telegraph understands. If it's fun by Harry's wife's definition, you can imagine that it's about as amusing as finding that you have just rolled over onto a cactus when you've got a swollen scrotum. There will be more of a heavy focus on fictional scripted content. What do you mean, more of? There's always been a heavy focus on fictional scripted content. It will be rom-coms, feel-good and light-hearted programs. The couple will not appear on screen, woohoo! Instead, adopting less time-consuming executive producer roles. The laziness of Harry's wife manifests once again, and pothead Harry can't be bothered either, which will allow them to pursue other projects, such as grifting for money elsewhere and philanthropic work. Management of facade. It comes after the Duke revealed in his memoir that he used to binge-watch Friends, while Harry's wife has admitted watching When Harry Met Sally 1,000,000 times. Exaggeration. As well as all the Julia Roberts rom-coms. And, of course, remember, when Harry's wife watches these things, she thinks she's in them. She thinks that she's Julia Roberts. She thinks that that's her world. Her narcissism causes her to acquire those character traits and then formulates a view of love based upon what she watches in film and television. Narcissistic love is predicated on romance rather than something deep and meaningful. As I have come to learn through my many years of observation, Love is about patience, respect, tolerance, liking similar things and acknowledging differences. It's about allowing that person to speak their brains without interruption. It's showing fidelity towards them. It's taking your turn in the household chores. Sure, there's room for dashes of romance, but love in the emotional empathy sense is far more deep-seated and, in a way, constant and might also be said to be viewed as boring. Albeit, of course, to those that experience the calm and tranquility of it, it isn't. But of course, all of that is no good to us because it's not going to turn somebody's head. Oh, hi, yeah, I want to always wash your dishes. Ooh, great, you're the guy for me then. You see, instead, turning up with a flourish and suddenly producing jewellery, or filling a room with flowers, or causing someone to be picked up and not realise that their bag has already been packed and been taken somewhere only on the second date and suddenly being whisked off to the airport. Coming out with all of the glamorous predictions of what the future holds, all of the gushy observations about we are star-crossed lovers, you're my soulmate, etc. Basically, things that are snatched from all of the narcissistic representations of love. This is what works for us to turn your head, to dazzle you, to give you all the shiny stuff. And so similarly, Harry's wife falls into that infatuated approach as well, deeming that to be the appropriate way of seeing love. She told Variety magazine last year, people love love. Wow, so insightful. I'm not excluded in that sentiment. You are, because you're incapable of love, because you're a narcissist. And our definition of love is really expansive. Partner love, self-love. What? There's going to be shows about wanking, okay? The love of community and family. We use that as the baseline of the kind of shows and documentaries we want out there. This shows her level of grandiosity because she's going to tell you how you should love. That's what she knows and understands. The shift from documentary-style content marks a notable departure for the couple who have, so far, largely focused their efforts on their own experiences and bored the arse off everybody. In moving towards fictional romance, the Sussexes follow in the footsteps of the Duchess of York, whose second historical romance novel for Mills and Boons is published next month. The development will be considered a welcome respite by those who have found it hard to escape the thoughts of Harry and Harry's wife in recent months, following the back-to-back releases of the Duchess's Spotify podcast Archetypes, their Netflix series, and then Prince Harry's memoir. The couple have kept a low profile since the publication of the Duke's Buck Spare last month and are keen to keep their heads down. It won't last. It then talks about their appearance at the coronation, which is dealt in other videos and makes reference to appearances of staff, appearance at the Ellen DeGeneres renewal of vows, see parts pass him, and also staff changes at Archwell, see parts pass him. Of course, once again, by saying that they're keeping their heads down, they appear in the news by telling us what they're going to bring next. So they are triangulating the readership and viewership with their future projects. And once again, rather than just keep their head down and get on with it and produce it at the time, Harry's wife has to ensure that everybody knows this is what is coming, because it enables her to remain in the news now and assert control, draw fuel, and of course manage that all-important facade. Let's dip below the line briefly to see if people welcome this development. Timothy Zimmerman, I would feel good if they just shut it. Patricia Armstrong, too bad for them in the United States, the best title of a show for them to produce is already taken, Family Feud. Patricia Armstrong, maybe they could do a show called Monty Shit Show, sort of like the old show Dallas, base the scripts from all their personal interactions with their Monty Shit Show neighbours. I'm sure Oprah and others would love that one. Graham Clifton, how about an update of Bob the Builder, with Harry's wife as the 40-year-old digger driver? Levin, there will be more of a heavy focus on fictional scripted content. In other words, just like their Oprah interview, but without Oprah. Mrs. Grumpy, dear God, that woman has the word salad down to a fine art. What on earth does I'm not excluded in that sentiment mean? I'm reminded of Mrs. Slocum in Are You Being Served? One of her catchphrases was, and I am unanimous in that. Andrew Adams, Harry for a role in the new Walter Mitty. Harry's wife for a role as Cruella de Vil in 101 Insinuations, but no spotty dogs allowed. SBR SHS. The Netflix documentary, Spotify podcast, and The Spare are not about their love story, more like failed love story, which has given audiences everywhere a taste of their narcissistic toxicity. Nigel Fisher. They are good at fiction. A.G. Douglas. So much dangerous vitriol here. Only a public apology from the royal family for behaving in such a way as to allow this to happen can turn this tide. Sarcasm there. Michael Bennett. Bound to be more lemons. These two seem to know very little about love except of self-love. Gemma Starr. Tonight on Suddenly Harry's Wife, hilarity ensues as Harry's wife clashes with Harry's family again while ghosting her own father and stepsister. Meanwhile, Harry has an accident feeding the chickens and spends the night cooped up. Once again, they're ridiculed. Nobody has any sympathy for them, and it just demonstrates the way that these two are roundly reviled. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.